Hey everybody, welcome back to the week 12 trading watch list. In these videos, I share what is upcoming events for next week that you need to watch. I also share my trading results from last week with screenshots and then what trades I'm going to be taking for next week. Now, this series is mostly geared towards working professionals who don't have the time to sit in front of their computer during the work week and actively trade as a day trader, scalping, or any of that sort. These strategies focus solely on selling options, using covered calls, using cash secured puts, rolling options, wheel strategy. Those are the strategies that I take into account for this trading. And through this series, I want to show you that you can be an investor and a trader at the same time without having to quit your 9 to 5 job. If you end up enjoying today's video, make sure you give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and save this watch list because every Sunday I will provide you my watch list for next week. And without further ado, let's dive in. Last week was a slew of red across the board. Apple was down about 6%, Nvidia dropped almost 9%, Tesla was down, Amazon was down, all across the board. Everything was down except the energy sector where you can see ExxonMobil, Chevron, and other names in green. Next week, there are a lot of events that are happening. I'm just going to go off a couple major events that you might want to watch for. Number one is the core inflation numbers are going to come out and the expected forecast is about 4.3%, currently 4.7%. So if you just take a look at this graph, we had been trending upwards for most of the 2022. However, since 2023, the inflation rate has been coming down and that is what is being expected, at least for the next numbers as well. Apple is coming up with their major September event launch, which is going to be the Apple iPhone 15 launch. Now, from an earnings standpoint, we only have two stocks that I particularly am interested in. On Monday is going to be after close will be Oracle, and then on Thursday it will be Adobe after close. I have done a video comparing Salesforce versus Adobe and which business model I like more. If you are interested, I leave the link right over here. Definitely check that out. So as of last week, we had two trade ideas. We talked about AMD and we had Square on the plan. Let's start off with AMD first. So on September 5th, we opened an AMD cash secured put and we received $56.32. The stock closed at $106.09, which basically meant our contract expired worthless and we kept the $56.32 in our pocket. Since we have been trading AMD for a while now, we have generated about $634 in premium, and this is kind of like a dividend that we are getting week after week. If you follow me on Twitter or x.com, I posted my trade idea of AMD, which was a little bit revised version on Tuesday. We had this big massive candle breaking through this downward trend line. Because of that, the $105 and $104 options contract prices went up 87 to 90%, where I was hoping to get an 88 cents, but I ended up getting only 55 cents. This is what I wrote here, that I opened $105, but it didn't fill in time. I got 57 instead of 88. So if you want to get these live updates, I highly recommend you follow me on x.com. The next trade idea was on Square. Now, in terms of Square, what ended up happening was that Square took a big dump in the last two trading days where the market in general was very down, specifically Apple being down, and Apple pretty much dragged the whole market down. We have the support line for Square at $53.08, but on Friday it broke through that. We would want to see if Square can get a bounce back from this support level or we are going to see further declines in Square. Currently the RSI is a little bit below 30. It's 29.29. I have to admit that I honestly forgot to open the cash secured put for Square earlier in the week, which actually worked out better for me. So I ended up opening a cash secured put on Friday when the stock was down massively, and I opened a cash secured put for $52 for Square, as you can see in this red highlighted, and I got about $70 for this trade. Overall, I have generated about $369 on Square since we have been running cash secured puts and covered calls on Square. Now, those were two planned trades, but I ended up taking an additional trade, which wasn't planned. What I did was I ended up rolling Tesla contract by 3 weeks to generate more capital. Tuesday, when the market opened, Tesla stock was pretty strong and we had a lot of buying pressure. As you can see, the volume was also pretty up. It was above your average volume, which is about 122 million stocks that are traded on a daily basis. The volume on the 5th was much higher than compared to the average volume. If you have been following the the channel, you might remember that we ended acquiring Tesla stocks at $265. On August 21st, we sold a covered call for Tesla about a month out, which would expire September 22, and we received about $227. On September 5th, I rolled my contract. So basically what rolling means is that if you have an existing contract which is open, and in our case, a covered call was open, I had to buy that contract back to close that. And because the value of that contract was pretty high, we ended up paying $659 from our pocket. But I also sold simultaneously another call which was 3 weeks out for October 13th, which is right here, and I generated $1,263 on that. So far, if you look at our consolidated income on Tesla, we have generated about $1,768 on Tesla since we have been running these contracts, and because of that, our adjusted cost basis is $247. So let's just say that come October 22 and I don't want to roll any more options, even if I sell Tesla at $265, I have generated a decent amount of cash on Tesla. And this is the power of options that I want to show you, that you can run these option strategies without risk as long as you manage your portfolio and your risk profile accordingly. So for next week, we are going to be focusing on just AMD because we opened Square cash secured put on Friday, which expires next Friday. We would really want to see the price action for AMD is how AMD behaves in the next couple days. Is it going to break this downtrend line, or is it going to stay above that downtrend line? Now, most of the times we want to own the stock when we are doing a cash secured put. I like the 30 delta. In my experience and all the times that I have run these selling strategies, I have seen 30 delta as the most optimum number, where most of the times your contract expires worthless and you tend to keep that options premium without having to buy the stock. In this case, 103 seems to be the most ideal strike price for next week. So at $103, you are going to be getting about 0.96, which is $96. So that's 0.93% ROI in 5 trading days, which is amazing because I don't mind owning AMD at $103 because I continue to trade AMD on a weekly basis. So we will see on Monday and Tuesday how the price behaves, and based on the price movement, look at 30 delta to open your cash secured put. That is basically what I want to say. If you ended up enjoying today's video, make sure you hit the like, click on subscribe, and ring the bell notification. I will see you next time, investor family, but don't forget to invest for tomorrow.